Hello student, I Dr. R.D. Patil, Head Department of Zoology, Vasantara Arts, Science and Commerce College, Shada. Dear friends of the student of the FIBSC, we have already discussed about the three lectures of relation discussion about the syllabus of the FIBSC. I teach the paper 2, semester 1st, Zoo 102, Animal Diversity 2nd. Out of this course, unit number 1, the protochordates we already discussed. In protochordate units, general features and phylogeny of these chordates. This topic will be discussed to explanation for these units. About these two lectures, the phylogeny, general characters and characteristic features of the protochordates are the first chordate or lower chordates, which are also called as invertebrate chordates, have been evolved in particular groups. So it is called the primitive marine forms of the animals. It is a mixture of invertebrates and vertebrate, because in this animal group both characteristic features are the scene of the particular observations. Here about the completion of this point, dear friends, today we discuss about the in first unit topics, that is phylogeny of protochordates. This phylogeny of protochordates. Dear friends, we discuss or known to basic idea to related by the what is mean phylogeny. Phylogeny means phylum. Phylum is a group of animals, and genesis means the production. Is refers to the development of a group of animals. It is the evolutionary history of a race. The concept of organic evolution says that higher animals were descended from lower animals. Means, in brief or short, the explanation of this particular प्यारा टू हॅज ग्रेट, त्याला मराठीमध्ये जर विद्यार्थी आपण डिस्कस केला बायलिंग्वेली, फायलोजिनी असा एक ॲनिमल ग्रुप असतो की या ग्रुपमध्ये एक प्रकारचा समूह, ॲनिमलांचा समूह त्याच्यात ग्रुप केला जातो किंवा त्यांचा गट केला जातो. असा जो असेल तो फायलम, आणि त्यांचं प्रोडक्शन काय आहे, त्यांचं स्टडी करणं, जेनेसिस, अशा प्रकारची कंप्लीट जी टर्म असेल त्याला फायलोजेनी म्हणतात. आणि इव्होल्युशन हिस्ट्री त्या रेजच्या माध्यमातून, ॲट अ इव्होल्युशन पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यू, द कन्सेप्ट ऑफ ऑर्गॅनिक इव्होल्युशन सेज दॅट हायर ॲनिमल्स वेअर डिसेंडेड फ्रॉम लोअर ॲनिमल्स. एक साध्या भाषेमध्ये की कुठलाही ॲनिमल जो कोणी हायर असेल किंवा टॉप रँकचा असेल तो लोअर रँककडून आलेला असतो, हा प्रूफ आहे. सो इन डार्विन्स इट इज अ स्पेसिफिक इव्होल्युशन लॉ ऑन्कोजिनी recapitulate phylogeny. Means each and every higher animals were descended from lower animals. So in this point of view, it is a evolutionary history of race. The concept of organic evolution says that higher animals were descended from the lower animals. For example, metazoa. In example point of view, metazoa is a particular multicellular animals were descended from protozoa. Protozoa is the proto is a Greek meaning. Proto means first, zoa means animal. In the animal universe, the animals which are first found up, it is called the protozoa. The origin and evolution of metazoa from protozoa together constitute the phylogeny of metazoa. Means metazoa is the multicellular animals and protozoa is unicellular or single cell animals. In a protozoa is the best example is the amoeba, this animal. So in this point of view, each and every animals which are evolved, the higher animals are developed or evolved from the lower animals. In the best example, simple, that is metazoa is a multicellular. These animal groups are descended from the protozoa. So in this way, the specifically the origin and evolution of metazoa from protozoa together constitute the phylogeny of the metazoa. In this way, the phylogeny of this animal is also takes place as a specific feature. The higher animals are evolved from the lower animal. In next topic of this units is the origin of life. This is the origin of life. Means every student we know about the first the lives are originated in the earth how many years, how many millions years. So in origin point of view, the earth originated about 5,000 million years ago as a piece broken from the sun. When earth was formed, it was glowing fire. As it moved away from the sun, it became cooled. This primitive earth contained only the inorganic substances in the form of N2, S2, O2, carbon, etc. S2 and O2 are combined together to form water molecules and is the most important essential components of the water is required for the living worlds. Means, dear friends, in a simple language or geographically or ancient history, we already known about in geographical point of view. बऱ्याच वेळेस आपल्याला असं हायस्कूल लेवलला किंवा बोर्ड लेवलला शिकत असताना असं आपण भौगोलिक याच्यामध्ये ऐकलेलं आहे की पृथ्वी असा हा असा म्हणजे सूर्य असा तप्त गोळा आहे आणि त्या ठिकाणी असे वेगवेगळे त्या सूर्याचे तुकडे होऊन व्हेन द अर्थ वॉज फॉर्म्ड त्याच्यात ते अनेक तुकडे इकडे तिकडे कुठेतरी जमिनीवरती किंवा असे वेगवेगळे विखुरले गेले आणि त्यापैकी एक असा हा गोळा पृथ्वीचा तयार झालेला आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये जर आपण विचार केला की इट इज मूव्ड अवे फ्रॉम द सन, कारण बऱ्याच वर्षानंतर तो पुढे पुढे सूर्यापासून दूर गेल्यामुळे थोडा कूल झाला, थंड झाला आणि त्या ठिकाणी प्रिमेटिव्ह अर्थ कंटेनड जी प्रथम पहिल्यांदा जी सूर्यापासून तुकडे किंवा एक गोळा वेगळा झालेला असेल याच्यामध्ये पहिल्यांदा आपल्याला त्याच्यात इनऑर्गॅनिक सबस्टन्सेस सापडले. त्याच्यात प्रेझेंट्स होते फॉर्ममध्ये, वेगळ्या फॉर्ममध्ये हायड्रोजन, ऑक्सिजन, कार्बन, त्यापैकी S2 आणि O2 हे दोन घटक जर कंबाईन झाले तर पहिल्या वेळेस त्या ठिकाणी टू फॉर्म बाय द वॉटर, पाणी तयार झालं. अशा प्रकारचा हा कॉम्पोनंट्स जो वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल्स आहे यू ऑपरेटेड होऊन टू फॉर्म द क्लाउड्स. इट इज सिम्पल टू ऑलरेडी डिस्कस अबाउट इन युअर 10th or 11th स्टँडर्ड इन जॉग्राफिकल पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यू. इट इज कॉल्ड वॉटर सायकल, जलचक्र आपण त्याला म्हणतो. जलचक्रामध्ये आपण बघतो की पृथ्वीवर म्हणजे जे पाणी असेल समुद्राचे पाणी त्याची वाफ होते, त्याची वाफ होऊन ढग तयार होतात, ढगवरती आकाशात जातात, आकाशात गेल्यानंतर त्यांना कुठेतरी डोंगरदऱ्यातून थंड हवा लागली की त्याच्यातून पाणी पडतं आणि ते पडलेलं पाणी पुन्हा जमिनीवर येतं, जमिनीवर पुन्हा नदी नाले जंगलातून वाहून जाऊन पुन्हा समुद्रात जातं, समुद्रात पुन्हा त्याची वाफ होते. एक्सपेशली इज अ सिम्पल, इट इज कॉल्ड वॉटर सायकल. इन दिस वे वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल्स आर इव्हॉपरेटेड टू फॉर्म क्लाउड्स. द क्लाउड्स कंडेन्स्ड टू फॉर्म रेन by repeated raining water accumulated on the surface of the earth dissolved in the seawater. So the specific cycles are creating to as a water cycle, and this in this way the origin of the life we also form on the earth by repeating raining water accumulated on the surface of the earth dissolved in the seawater. These dissolved inorganic substances reacted together to form organic substance. We have in specific way the inorganic substances reacted together to form organic substances. So in this way the organic substances is most important. Or in specific point of view, in the animal world the first life was formed in the sea by the accumulation of organic substances. In many more evidences in evolution point of view, Darwin's also get proof to form the animal universe is first produced in the earth is also formed from the sea. In simple form पहिल्यांदा ॲनिमल सृष्टी जी उदयास आली असेल ती समुद्रामधून म्हणून म्हटलं गेलेलं आहे इट इज कॉल्ड द मदर ऑफ लाईफ. सो इन दिस वे द सिरीज ऑफ केमिकल रिॲक्शन्स लिडिंग टू फॉर्मेशन ऑफ फर्स्ट लाईफ इज कॉल्ड द बायोकेमिकल इव्होल्युशन. इन द स्पेसिफिक वे different kinds of the processes are takes place to universe, and this biochemical evolution occurred for a long duration of 2000 million years after the origin of earth. Thus the first appeared about 3000 million years ago. In simple way, in the biochemical evolution after completion to 2000 millions years after the origin of the earth, and first animals appeared 3000 million years ago. So in this way, this is the origin of life is completed. In a Next topic of this syllabus is the organic evolution. Is most important. Dear friends, we already to uh, basic idea to related as a evolution. In evolution point of view, many more times we also require the few more basic theory of the Darwin's evolution in your 11th or 12th standard to get by the brief view. So the organic evolution is the detail or broad spectrum course in TY level. It is called the paleontology and systemic evolution. In this way, the organic evolution of the animal lives or universe is takes place in specific way. The first life appeared in the sea. We already discussed about the next topic. So sea is the mother of life. Is the most important thing. Each and every student has known about the animal universe. Animal is first formed. So it is called as found in the sea. So sea is the mother of life. Is most important to asking the MCQ point of view. Dash is the mother of life. Sea is the mother of life. The first life was a self duplicating mass of organic molecules. ज्यावेळेस या युनिव्हर्समध्ये पहिल्यांदा ॲनिमल इव्हॉल्व झाला असेल तो स्वतः सेल्फ डुप्लिकेटिंग त्याच्या मास ऑर्गॅनिक मॉलिक्युलचा तयार होऊन तो तयार झाला. इट गिव्ह राईज टू प्रोकॅरियोटिक सेल्स, गिव्ह राईज टू eukaryotic plants and animal cell. In the animal universe, in evolution point of view, the first is the prokaryotic cell, is also called the primitive cell, and second one is the eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell has a primitive development as compared to the eukaryotic cell. So prokaryotic cell is basically mostly in your bacteria or E. coli, and many more times the eukaryotic cells are present in the plants and animals. Dear friends, the first animal formed on the earth was a unicellular animal like Volvax coming under the protozoa. It's a simple way because in animal classification point of view, the first phylum of the animals is a protozoa. And protozoa has a Greek meaning. Proto means first and zoa means animal. The animals which are present or evolved in first phyla, it is called the protozoa. The protozoa gave rise to metazoa. Among metazoa, Silentata was the first formed metazoa. In simple way, first live primitive or basic is a protozoa, and protozoa give rise to metazoa. Protozoa is a unicellular animal and metazoa is a multicellular animal. In this point of view, the metazoa highly developed form of the group is a Silentata was first formed in metazoa. In organic evolution point of view, the Coelenterata gave rise to Platyhelminthes worms. The Platyhelminthes worms were the ancestors for Annelida. Next, Arthropoda, Mollusc, Echinoderma, and Chordata. It's a basic prelim serial evolution of the animal groups in the organic evolution point of view, or in animal universe point of view, or in animal classification point of view. First, the lower or invertebrate animals, which also already discussed in a protozoa, to last is the Echinodermata or Hemichordata. And next group, in the case of the higher chordate groups, that is Pisces to the mammals. So dear friends, this seriality or universe of development of the group is uniformly, because protozoa as compared to the specific as a sponges or porifera to platy, Asclepias, Coelenterata, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata. Is a evolution point of view or organic evolution point of view. The serial of this animal group evolution is required, because we already discussed about the higher animals are from the lower animals. Is a descended property of the evolution history. So the first chordates were originated from the lopophorates related to annelid. The first chordate gives rise to the fishes. Protochordata do not form a natural assemblance, but it is a term widely used for lower chordates comprising Hemichordata, Urochordata, and Cephalochordata. It is a subphylum of the chordata. Is a three, that is Hemichordata, Urochordata, and Cephalochordata. According to the chord is present in the specific parts of the animal body. Hemi means half body are present by the notochord. Uro is only for the tail regions, and cephalo is a notochord is present is only in the brain or head regions. So in this way, these three groups of the protochordates subphylum of chordata we already discussed about the in second lectures as a classification of the chordates. Dear friends, in organic evolution point of view, they are more closely related to the vertebrates than any other group of living organism, since both have their characteristics in common. Means each and every vertebrate or chordate animal groups are most important to your characteristic features. Means that is the three most important characters are seen in this animal group of vertebrate or chordata, that is the dorsal hollow nervous system, pharyngeal gill slits, and notochord. Means pharyngeal gill slit, nerve cord, notochord. These specific three characters are mainly observed or seen in the animal body. At least even one or more or not always retained in the adults. These character features are seen in the vertebrate groups. In your organic evolution point of view, the many more phyla had a common stem, then the hemichordates would represent on offshoot developed before the appearance of notochord. From the remaining protochordates, urochordates, and amphoxus, no doubt resemblance of vertebrate in many respects, but the differences are also evident. Amphoxus has a no sepalation. It has a notochord but not a vertebral column. It has dorsal horn nervous system, but the brain lacks the major vertebrate divisions. It has no paired sense organ. The Amphoxus has a segmented musculature, but the segments extend to the anterior tip of the head. It has two layered skin, but the outer layer is only one cell thick. It has median fins, but no paired ones. It possesses a digestive system, but with a hollow liver, diverticula, and no other endodermal evagination. It has aortic arches and venous channels similar to typical vertebrate, but no heart. So in a peculiar point of view, the protochordates are remaining to specific characters which are present or not present in urochordates and amphoxus. So this is a brief view in organic evolution point of view. Dear friends, next topic to discuss about the affinities. So in your first units, that is the protochorda, general features and phylogeny of protochorda. In this view, the protochordates animal groups are also resemblance which group of the animals in the animal universe. So resemblance in simple way, similarities and dissimilarities characters are present or view to group compared, it is called affinity. In simple way or in biological point of view, affinities are defined as are the phylogenetic relationship between two organisms or groups of organism resulting in a resemblance in general plan or structure or in the essential structure parts. Simple way, that is a resemblance or relationship between the organism or groups of organism resulting in the resemblance in this point of view. A few more affinities दुसरीचं काही नसून तो प्रत्येक ॲनिमल आहे त्या प्रत्येक ॲनिमलचं इव्होल्युशन होताना लोअर टू दी हायर ॲट दिस टाइम this animal has stay your race. Any kinds of the lower animals are developed into the higher animals. At this time, your characteristic features or your race are staying in lower groups automatically to show the affinity or resemblance. Which characters are present or which characters are not present. In few more characters, these animal groups are similar. As to in your non-chordate point of view of the 9 phylum or in chordate point of view of the 5 classes, each and every animal groups are one or two characters are get by the similar or also present. So this character features is also called as a biological resemblance. So it is a biological point of view. Affinities are defined as the phylogenetic relationship between two organisms. So also to intimation or indication the which animal groups are evolved from the which phylum, genus or order are get by the specific affinity. So in this way, the affinity of protochordates are also near about the relation to the for the annelids Also your affinities for the echinoderms and affinities for chordates. As the specific animal groups are included, that is the annelids and hemichordata are the invertebrates groups, and chordata are the vertebrate groups. So in affinities point of view, first the class Enterobneus to which Balanoglossus belongs was established in 1817 by Gagnon Gagnevor. The name hemichordate was given by Pattison in 1885 and he included it with the chordata. Hyman in 1959, however, gave independent phylum status to hemichordate in the invertebrates. In few more or the characteristics also or squabbling also effects to know the dissimilarities as well as also वेगवेगळ्या विचारांच्या माध्यमातून काही सायंटिस्ट लोकांचं असं म्हणतो त्याला आपण एक शाब्दिक युद्ध किंवा त्या सायंटिफिकली होऊ नये ही hemichordates is a separate group. Many more time these groups are included in the invertebrates or non-chordate, but this animal also has a presence in border or middle for the invertebrate as well as vertebrate. In simple way, in your chordate or non-chordate, so specifically in this group is a central position, so it is called the hemichordate. Hemi also has a Greek meaning. Hemi means half, chordate means chordate characteristics, half characters of the non-chordates and half characters of the chordate. These characteristic features are seen in these animal groups. Its best example is the Balanoglossus. So Pattison in 1885 and is included with the chordate. Hyman in 1959, however, gave independent phyla status to hemichorda in the invertebrate. So many more time also this group of animals are included in the different kinds of non-chordate animals, but Hyman has a 1959 to give independent phylum, separate phylum, hemichorda, also top level of the invertebrates. In establishing the phylogenetic position, Balanoglossus has been linked to several diverse groups like Annelid, Echinodermata and Chordata. It was also associated with a number of minor phyla like Nemertina, Pogonophora and Poranida, but due to lack of evidence, this relationship is rejected in many more types. The relationship between the annelid and hemichorda was the first established by Spengel 1893. So in this point of view, the different characteristic features which also interrelationship between the lower to the higher animal groups, so it is called affinity. In this unit, first is the affinities with annelid, means the relationship between the annelid and hemichordate was first established by Spengel 1893. In this way, similarities, which points are similar for the chordate to annelids or hemichordate to annelids is a specific similarities. Out of this point, the first point, the habits of Balanoglossus lies burrowing, ingesting mud, extraction of nutrients from ingested mud and leaving the waste in the form of castings and general body form suggest it to be an earthworm. So this is a specific character feature in the Balanoglossus. As the same, these character features are worked by the earthworm. So earthworm is the phylum Annelida. It is also has a specifically to digestion of the soil, means this is a mother of, it is a intestine of the earth. Earthworm is called in simple language is the intestine of the earth. So second is the proboscis of Balanoglossus in Prostomium of Nereis are similar in preoral. Few more types. The Balanoglossus is an example of hemichordata. In this specific character of the Prostomium is the same similar character features of Nereis are specific animals are present in the this non-chordate animal group. The collar of acorn worm and the clitellum of the earthworms are similar in third point. In fourth point, the blood vascular system of both the groups is similar. The heart is dorsal in position and the blood flows forward in the dorsal vessel and backward in the ventral vessel. So this is a specific point to consist of the fourth point as affinity. Fifth point is the Toronaria larva of Balanoglassus and the Trochopore larva of Polychaetes annelids are similar in being pelagic and ciliated, and they having a apical plate, eye spots, and well developed elementary canal. Also is a in your fifth point of view. Next, affinities point of view of the annelid. These similarities, which characters are different or the variation. The two groups differ in following characters. First is the absence of gill slits and buccal diverticulum in annelid. Second is the organization of the nervous system. The nerve cord is tubular and dorsal in Balanoglassus, and in annelid the nerve cord is a double, ventral and solid. Nephridia of annelid absent in Balanoglassus. Absent in Balanoglassus. The next 4 point is the Toronia larva of Balanoglassus differs from the Trochospore larva of polychaete worms in the following characters. That is, the first is the absence of nephridia in Toronaria. Second is the absence of preoral coelom in a trochopore. And third is the blastopore becomes the mouth in trochopore and anus in Toronaria. The differences between the two groups are greater as compared to the resemblance, which are superficial and insignificant. It probably indicates a convergent evolution resulting from similar habits and habitat. In the light of these differences, therefore, the phylogenetic relationship between the two groups has been given up. So in specific point of view, which characters or which points are similar, which points are dissimilar. So this character features also knowing to affinities with annelids. Next point in the syllabus is the affinities with Echinodermata. So this group of the chordate as well as Protochorda has which character features are similar characters are related for the Echinodermata, and dissimilar characters which are related for the Echinodermata. So there is no similarity in the appearance of the adults of both hemichordates and echinoderms, so it is difficult to suspect an relationship between them. So in specific point of view, that is Echinodermata. Echinodermata has a Greek meaning. Echinos mean a spiny, derma means skin. The animal which are present in your body wall are covered by the spiny like structures. So these animal groups are called as the Echinodermata. So which characters are get by the similar or dissimilar, that is called the affinities. In affinities point of view, there is no similar, but in resemblance point of view, the few characters are also or similarity between the two groups, however, is based on embryological evidences and the similarity between larval stages. The resemblance between young Toronaria larva of Balanoglassus and young Auricularia and Bipinnaria larva of Echinoderms is so great. Meshchenkov is a scientist. 1865 proved it to be the larva of Entropneust, and thus established its relationship with the Echinodermata. In your larval resemblance point of view, the 5 characters are explained to resemblance of the Echinodermata to the Protochorda. First is the larva are small. This is the larva are small, oval, transparent, and pelagic. Is specifically present in the water level as the top. The course of ciliated bands is identical. Second point. Third is the shape and division of the digestive tract is similar. Fourth, the cleavage pattern and formation gastro are similar. Fifth point is the formation and arrangement of coelomic cavities is similar. 7. The heart vesicle of hemichordates is regarded homologous to the madreporate vesicle. The 7 is the blastopore becomes the larval anus. So in your coelomic cavities point of view or formation point of view, arrangement is similar. The origin of coelom is enterocoelous and is divided into three regions, which is hemichordates are called as a protocell, mesocell, and metacell. And in echinoderms, the exocell, hydrocell, protocell, mesocell, and metacell. And in echinoderms, the exocell, hydrocell, and somatocell. The proboscis spore or Baranoglassus compared with the water pore of the echinoderms is a briefly to form by development by the coelomic cavities in the similar or resemblance point of view. Next, sixth point is the hard vesicle hemichordates is regarded homologous of the madrepoid vesicle. 7 is the blastopore becomes the larval anus. The blast means last part of the alimentary canal is called the anus. So in evolution in future, blastopores are converted into the anus larval form. So this is the similarities or resemblances of this. Next is the differences. The difference point of as compared to the Echinodermata and Protochorda. That is, first is the absence of apical plate, eye spot, and telotract in bipinnaria. We have the first point in a specific way. That is next. Second is the protocell is the echinoderms larva is paired, but in Thoronaria is a single. So it is a specific 2 point of this view. That is, the echinoderms have, however, deviated greatly from the common ancestral type, while the echinoderms are closer to it. So in this point, this is a differentiation of this group. Next is the next point is the specifically that is the affinities with chordate. The branchial apparatus of Balanoglossus shows a rough analogy with that of Amphoxus. In phase, it is that stimulated a search of additional chordate characters in Balanoglossus. Patterson 1885 was the first to identify the structure that he regarded as a notochord, a characteristic feature of all chordates and included hemichordates in phylum Chordata in 1887. So this is a specific feature to get by the affinities with chordates. Protochordata has a specific affinities to the chordates. So in this point, the few more characters are resemblance. That is, in a resemblance point of view, the hemichordates appear to resemble the chordate in possessing the three fundamental chordate characters. These three characters are these seen. First is a notochord, central nervous system, and pharyngeal gill slits. Means notochord, nerve cord, and gill slits as the three most important characters. Also presence in the chordates as similar to in the protochordates. That is, first notochord. The buccal diverticula of hemichordate has been regarded as the notochord by Patterson. Second is the central nervous system. It is short. It is called the CNS. The central nervous system of hemichordates and chordates show a marked resemblance in structure and development. The dorsal position of the collar cord, its mode of construction, and occasional presence of a neuropore in it, it is a comparable with the dorsal tubular nerve cord of the chordates. In third point of view, pharyngeal gill slit, it is the most characteristic features, the most striking. The line between the hemichordates and the chordate is the presence of pharyngeal gill slit. It is the most important three characters of this animal group, has nothing to comparatively to this origin to prove each and every chordata has a three characteristic feature, that is notochord, nerve cord and pharyngeal gill slits. So pharyngeal gill slits which have a same general construction with tongue bars, synaptically and M-shaped skeletal supports as those of Amphoxus. Hyman 1959 says that the relationship does not, however, justify the inoculation of the hemichordates in the phylum chordates. So these specific features or differentiations are also indicating to this description to clear which points are also similar to get. Next is the differences. At difference point of view or difference points which are apparent the chordates to as a protochordate. These resemblance are outweighed by important differences in the features mentioned above. First point, from the account of the buccal diverticula, it is evident that the name notochord was erroneously given to this structure by Bateson and his followers. The following differences between two structures support this view in specifically by this schematic representation in these charts. That is the first point is the buccal diverticula and next is the notochord. So there is a 7 to 8 points also which points are differences as buccal diverticulum point of view and differences in notochord point of view. In buccal diverticula formed as a forward invagination of the buccal wall. Next in notochord formed as a rod-like elevation from the roof of archenteron. Second point is the buccal diverticula point made up of ordinary epithelial cells consist of large vacuolated cell. Next in buccal diverticula lack of sheath. In the notochord sheath is present. In next point no related to blastopore. It is related to the blastopore. Next point ventral to the mid dorsal blood channel. Next in this notochord dorsal to the main dorsal blood vessels. Not supporting in function. This is a supporting in function. Some sort of perioral gut confined to the proboscis. Axial stiffness stiffering rod extends for backwards. So in this way, this is a differences characters of the account to the buccal diverticula and notochord. Second point is the nervous system hemichordate present typically in orbits pattern. Means the 3 to 4 character features are seen. The other significant differences, the coelomic region characteristics of the hemichordates are not found in chordata. Second is the chordates are metamerically segmented, whereas in hemichordate there is no trace of segmentation. Third is there is no post-anal tail in hemichordates. Fourth is the blood vascular system is of invertebrate type. From the above, it can be concluded that the hemichordates are more like invertebrates in their general organization and morphology. It is likely that the three groups Echinoderm, hemichordates and chordate evolved from a common ancestor which is a probably a diplural larva. The Echinoderms have deviated from the main ancestral stock while the hemichordates are closer to it. Thus, the main ancestor gave rise to the hemichordates and chordate along the main line of evolution and the Echinodermata as blind offshoot. In simple way, the above the whole description, the protochordata has affinities in similar point of view or dissimilar point of view to get by the annelids also as a chordates. So lastly, the chordates and another groups of the hemichordate Echinodermata and chordata as a in your life cycle the common ancestor is the diplural larva is a commonly interlinking between the all life history of the particular group, that is the Echinodermata, hemichordata and chordata. In this point of view, dear friends, to complete this first unit, next lecture to start the unit second. Dear friends, we watch this lecture or video as a completely to observe and listening the lecture of this point of view. Any difficulty, ask me to in particularly as a telephonic contact as well as your message point of view. Dear friends, remaining unit 2 are start in the next lectures. We complete this lecture. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.